Takemichi was watching the news when he learned that Hinata, his high school sweetheart, had died. At that moment, he re-evaluated his life. "I never thought I'd end up like this. My boss treats me like an idiot. I live in a filthy apartment. The last girlfriend I had was in high school, and I'm still a virgin." Just when he had lost his way, a stranger pushed him onto the train tracks. On the verge of death, he could only remember Hinata. Suddenly, a flash of light sent him back to his high school days. He saw his friends again, reliving those times when they fought with other schools for no reason, only to get beaten up by older students. From that point on, they became servants of the Tokyo Manji gang. On the ground, Takemichi remembered that Hinata would die in the future due to a Tokyo Manji dispute. He ran to her house and couldn't help but cry when he saw her. He was furious that a girl who treated him so well would have to die in the future. He took his anger out on some thugs and indirectly saved a boy. He was Hinata's younger brother. Takemichi remembered that he would also die in 12 years. He decided to tell Naoto about the future and asked him to please take care of his sister. When they shook hands, Takemichi returned to the present. We see that he managed to survive the train, thanks to Naoto, who said, "Thanks to your time travel, I was able to survive and rescue you from the train. All this time, I dedicated myself to protecting my sister. I became a police officer. Unfortunately, I couldn't save her. However, you can go back and do it." He took him to the office. "My predecessor infiltrated Tokyo Manji, but was eliminated when they found out. Now I'm in charge. You can only go back exactly 12 years. We can't go back to the day of her death. You must go to the past and prevent Mikey and Kisaki from meeting. Otherwise, Tokyo Manji won't exist in this era. I'm counting on you." They shook hands and Takemichi went back. He returned 12 years to the past where he was fighting, and he was knocked out with one punch. Since the third-year boys had bet money on him, they beat him more for losing. Even so, he got up and in pain asked to be introduced to Mikey and Kisaki. This led to them hitting him with a bat. With that thought, he considered giving up. He went to look for Naoto to shake his hand and return to the present, but on the way, he ran into Hinata, and seeing her, he decided he couldn't leave her. The next day, his weakest friend was scheduled to fight. When the time came, Takemichi decided to save him by challenging Kiyomasa. He gave him the beating of his life, but no matter how many hits he took, he wouldn't fall. "Kiyomasa, if you want to win, you'll have to kill me." He asked for his bat to put an end to it, but the vice commander Draken and the commander of the Tokyo Manji gang arrived to stop it. Their presence was such that everyone bowed before them. Draken treated Kiyomasa like a brat, and the commander went directly to Takemichi to say, "From today on, we'll be friends." He turned to Kiyomasa and gave him a beating for promoting this type of fight. Now Takemichi was friends with the commander. He just had to prevent him from meeting Kisaki. On their first outing as friends, he asked why he had caught his attention. The commander replied, "I had an older brother. He didn't care about fighting stronger people. You remind me of him. Everyone thinks delinquents are pathetic. I want to create a new era for delinquents, and I want you to join me." After that conversation, he saw that the commander was a good guy. Something must have changed for the Tokyo Manji gang to do what they did in the future. The next day, he spent time with Hinata. She thanked him for saving her brother. He always disliked Dad, but ever since you saved him, he wants to be a police officer like him. Suddenly, fireworks went off. They went up to see them together. Takemichi, looking at her, thought, "I want to stay here. I don't want to go back to the future because she's not there." He took her hand. It was warm and soft. But when he turned around, he saw that it was Naoto and he returned to the present. He screamed in frustration because he was left wanting to hold Hina's hand. When he calmed down, he told Naoto that the commander wasn't a bad person. "We can trust him. I want to know why Tokyo Manji changed." Naoto searched his reports and now saw Akune in the photos. The report said that he had stabbed Kiyomasa. But when Takemichi stepped in to challenge Kiyomasa, he changed the past. Now Akune, instead of going to jail, is one of the heads of Toman. Being their only connection to Mikey in the present, they called him after a long time and went to see him with Naoto. They waited for him until he arrived. He looked very different from before. He asked to speak in private. He knew Naoto was a cop. That's why on the rooftop he was friendlier. They reminisced about a moment together until he said, "I pushed you onto the train. You should have died. But Naoto saved you as if he knew what would happen. You can go back to the past, right? Now I'm a soldier of Kisaki's. I haven't seen Mikey in years. Mikey changed a lot when Draken died. Now you want to go to the past to save Hinata. You can go and save us all. Go and please save us all." At that moment, Akune jumped and died in front of Takemichi. He met with Naoto and said, "Find out how Draken died. Toman changed because of Kisaki." In the file they saw that in 2 weeks, 12 years ago, Draken would die after a fight between him and Mikey. It seemed almost impossible to him because they were very good friends. Naoto said, If you manage to prevent Draken's death, Mikey won't change. Toman won't either, and Hinata won't die. We could save everyone in one day. They shook hands, and Takemichi returned to the past at a good time. He noticed that his life had also changed, but he hadn't, so he ran away. In his escape, he ran into Hinata, hoping she didn't know anything about what had just happened. They met up with the rest of the guys. Draken greeted Hina and asked Emma to accompany her. Takemichi realized that she was the blonde from before, and she said to him, "Hey, you're the one who left me in my underwear." Hinata, hearing this, activated her Byakugan and gave him a beating before leaving. Emma, upon seeing him, said, "Just so you know, I don't like you. I just wanted to make Draken jealous." Anyway, with everyone gathered, Mikey said to everyone, "If we confront Moebius, the conflict will be huge. I want to know what you think." They explained to Takemichi that a friend of their companion, Pa, had a fight with people from Moebius. They beat him up, they made his girlfriend suffer in front of him and tied up his entire family. "They control Shinjuku, we control Shibuya." Mikey asked Pa, "Do you want to fight?" He replied, "Yes, I want to eliminate those bastards." With that said, Mikey told everyone that they would finish Moebius on August 3rd, and Takemichi saw that Draken would die that day. Draken's past. "I was born in a red light district. My father left, my mother is a prostitute, and she also left when I was 2 years old. I live in a disguised brothel." We see that at a very young age he decided to get the tattoo on his temple. Since elementary school he was taller than the high school boys. Nobody messed with him, he had a group. They told him that in elementary school there was a cocky kid who became famous for defeating the leader of Pachinoka, and they asked him to bring him over. His name was Mikey. Asking around, Draken reached him. He saw that he was just a little brat. In his astonishment, he didn't know what to say to him. "They ordered me to bring you with me, but don't worry if you don't want to." Still, Mikey decided to go with him. As soon as they arrived, Mikey didn't wait to be introduced and broke the leader's face. "What do losers who attack in groups want?" Everyone ran away scared. Mikey saw Draken and said, "What's someone like you doing with these losers?" And at that moment, they became friends. In the present, the boys interrogated the former leader of Moebius. "Did you order Draken's death?" He lost his temper but said, "Yes, we fought against them, but we didn't kill him. He planned to kill Draken." "Who?" "I can't say more. I don't want to have anything to do with Toman." And he left. They returned to their hideout. Naoto knew he was telling the truth and deduced that someone tried to pit Mikey and Draken against each other. "You must prevent that fight." They shook hands and he returned to the past. He arrived just in time to ride a bike with Akune. He was happy to see him alive again with that hairstyle. He asked his friend, "What's your dream?" Akune replied, "Well, to be a stylist." Takemichi responded, "I know you'll make it. You have my support. I have to go, but I hope to be your first client." He looked for Mikey, saying, "I'll stop them no matter what. Could you cancel the fight? I can't tell you more, but someone set this up." Pa pushed him aside. "If you speak, I'll kill you." Still, Takemichi insisted that it was a trap against Toman. Now Pa hit him, saying, "Are you pretending we're not fighting for a reason?" Mikey said, "It's a fact. The fight will happen." However, Draken thought that maybe he could investigate Moebius more before then. And Mikey replied, "Are you opposing Toman?" Tension rose in the atmosphere until Osanai, commander of Moebius, arrived. Takemichi saw that it was the witness he had spoken to in the present. Furious, Pa went towards him, but Osanai knocked him out without any trouble, and with just a snap of his fingers, all of Moebius arrived. Without hesitation, Mikey faced him. "You need this many people? You're as much of a piece of crap as I imagined." Osanai started with Takemichi, but Pa made it clear that it was his fight. Helpless, Takemichi knew he had to do something or Draken would die. Osanai took the lead. They were going to help him, but Mikey said, "This is Pa's fight, don't interfere." Osanai continued until Pa was knocked out. Mikey held him, saying, "You haven't lost yet." Osanai approached and kicked him, knocking him out. "Whoever thinks we've lost, come on. I'll kill you all. Toman belongs to me, and none of us will lose." He apologized to Draken for what happened earlier. Osanai grabbed a broken bottle, but Draken stopped him in time. "You've crossed the line. The next time you commit any misdeeds, I'll kill you. If you have nothing to say, Moebius will fall to Tokyo Manji." Suddenly, police sirens blared. The boys started to run away. Draken ordered Moebius to take their commander, but Pa stabbed him. Draken pushed him away, but it was already done. Mikey couldn't believe what his friend had done. Pa told everyone to go, that he would turn himself in. Mikey didn't want to leave him, but there was no time, and they escaped. While running away, Takemichi fainted. Upon waking up, he saw Emma. She was crying and told him Draken and Mikey had an argument. They say Toman split up and Pa was arrested. She didn't know what else she could do. When he returned home, his lifelong friends came to visit him. They told him that the breakup of Toman would be sooner or later. Draken arrived to check on Takemichi. He told him that Pa would be locked up for a year. He got up and confirmed that Toman was over, but leaving the house, he ran into Mikey. He also went to check on Takemichi. Both were preparing their fists. He tried to stop him, but Mikey threw his bike at Draken. He broke a bat, and they started fighting with Takemichi's things. This infuriated him. "Stop! You destroyed all my memories!" The fight was going to continue until they saw that Takemichi had dog poop on his head, and the teasing towards him made them all reconcile. Takemichi thought, "Everyone gets along. Now Draken won't die. I've changed the future." One night, they all went to the festival. A surprise rain made everyone separate. Takemichi and Hina ended up together under a tree. He prepared to kiss her, but his cell phone started ringing. His friend told him that there were Mikey supporters who planned to do something against Draken, even though they had already become friends. Takemichi had no choice but to leave Hina. And among the trees, he saw the traitor. Kiyomasa was with Moebius and swore he would kill Draken, but someone surprised Takemichi and put him in front. They beat him up and tied his limbs with tape. Now he couldn't do anything to stop them from eliminating Draken. After a while, Hina found him. He said, crying, "How could a loser like me save anyone? Leave me, I don't want her to see me. I'm a failure." Hinata silenced him with a kiss and said, "That's my first kiss. I gave it to you because you're special the way you are. There's no one cooler than you." He got up saying thank you. "I have to go. I'll stop Kiyomasa." He met with Matsuya. He told him that Mikey wanted to pay for Pa's freedom, but Draken opposed it. After that, they became friends at your house, but Peihyun wants to finish off Draken. He was walking with Emma until he was intercepted by Peihyun. He asked Emma to leave. He went towards him, but another one surprised him with a bat. Takemichi looked for Draken, but when he arrived, he saw him bleeding, beating everyone up. Mitsuya will take his place for the time being. Takemichi didn't see Kiyomasa. He could come out at any moment. Moebius prepared to eliminate them, but Mikey arrived. "They sent me to another location so they could attack Draken and then blame me. You're not like that, Peihyun." Suddenly, Hanma, the temporary commander of Moebius, entered. He tried to surprise him with a kick, but Hanma managed to block it. "We'll finish you off." However, Tokyo Manji's reinforcements arrived. With that, the Royal Rumble began. Everyone was fighting and giving advice while Takemichi searched for Draken. But there were so many people that they couldn't find him or Kiyomasa. To the side, Mikey made his way to Peihyun. He responded, "Pa is in prison and you're not going to do anything. He was everything to me." Mikey brought him closer, saying, "It hurts me that Pa was arrested. I understand. Hit me until you feel satisfied. Let's pretend nothing happened and come back with us." Takemichi didn't find Draken, but he ran into Kiyomasa. He was going to stop him, but he said, "I finally did it." Takemichi turned and found Draken. He didn't respond. He didn't move. Mikey saw what happened, made his way towards him, but couldn't get Hanma out of the way. He couldn't reach him, so Takemichi carried him. Hina and Emma caught up with them. They had already called an ambulance, but the traitors arrived. Draken got up, asked him to take the girls. He would fight. However, Takemichi didn't intend to keep running away, but in his first attack they stabbed his hand. Even so, he continued fighting. He managed to grab his neck until Kiyomasa fell, but there were still many more. However, Takemichi's old friends arrived. Although they all took a beating, they accomplished their goal. They bought time until the ambulance arrived. On the other side, the battle was over, but Mikey failed to defeat Hanma. Everyone went to the hospital to wait for the results. Finally, the doctor said that the operation was a success. All the boys celebrated. At that moment, Peihyun arrived, very ashamed. Mitsuya told him, "I understand you did it for Pa, but Draken thought of Pa more than us. He was going to visit him knowing he wouldn't even be able to see him." And more. Outside, Mikey cried with happiness, knowing that he hadn't lost his friend. With everything resolved, Takemichi prepared to return to the present. He said goodbye to Hinata, giving her a necklace and asking her to be happy. He squeezed Naoto's hand and returned to his time. His phone alarm went off. He saw an address on it, and when he went there, he saw a kune. He had followed his dream of becoming a stylist, and he received a call from Naoto saying, "You did it, let's go see my sister." They arrived at her apartment. Upon arrival, he wished to be with her in this timeline as well, but he decided to move on with his life and left. But they both bumped into each other before he left, and he cried when he saw her alive. The night continued. Neither knew what to say. Naoto had an emergency and had to leave. Takemichi saw that she was still wearing the necklace he had given her. She stopped in front of the beach to tell him, "I had an ex-boyfriend who broke up with me. To this day, I can't get over him and I don't understand why he did it. So tell me, Takemichi, why did you break up with me?" He didn't know what to say and asked her to wait for him in the car while he went to the bathroom. No wonder he's still a virgin. Only in the bathroom did he decide to reveal his feelings, but when he came out, he saw Hanma and he said, I thought you were in the car." He wanted to finish them both off. He ran towards the car, and a van destroyed the car where Hinata was. He approached and saw Akune in the other car. He was still working for Kisaki and died, saying the same words as last time. He looked for Hinata. She was still alive but couldn't feel her legs. He knew it was a matter of time before the worst happened, so he hugged her, saying, "I've always loved you." She cried with happiness, but pushed him away to die alone in the explosion. Takemichi screamed in pain, "I swear I'll find a future where I can save you." With the mystery of Hinata's death still looming, Takemichi finds himself facing a new confrontation with his dark past. Will he be able to uncover the truth behind this complex conspiracy? Or will his past catch up with him once again? Will he be able to change fate and save Hinata from her tragic destiny? Get ready for more thrills and excitement in the second part of the Tokyo Revengers summary, where truths will be revealed and destinies will change. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next chapter of this thrilling saga.